February 14th, 1943, Sidi Bouzid, Tunisia. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel raises his binoculars. He watches the American tanks advance. They come in a straight line. No flanking, no cover, no coordination. Just 30-ton machines rolling across open desert directly into his kill zone. Rommel lowers the binoculars. He is smiling. "They fight like children," he says to his aide. "This will not take long." He is right. Within 2 hours, the American attack is destroyed. 52 tanks burning, crews dead or captured, survivors fleeing in panic. Rommel watches the smoke rise. He has been fighting the British for 2 years. They were difficult, stubborn, professional. These Americans are none of those things. These Americans are amateurs. And amateurs do not survive the desert. February 14th, 0800 hours. The American plan is simple, too simple. Combat Command A of the 1st Armored Division will attack German positions at Sidi Bouzid. Tanks forward, infantry support, artillery cover. It looks good on paper. On paper, everything looks good. The reality is different. Lieutenant Colonel John Waters leads the attack. 52 M4 Sherman tanks rolling across the flat desert floor. The Shermans are good tanks, reliable, fast, well armed for 1943. But tanks are only as good as their tactics, and American tactics are about to be tested. The Germans are waiting. The 10th Panzer Division, veterans of Poland, veterans of France, veterans of 100 desert battles. They do not sit in the open like the Americans, they hide. Panzers concealed in wadis, anti-tank guns dug into the sand, artillery pre-registered on the approach routes. The Americans cannot see them. The Americans do not know they are there. The Americans drive straight into the killing ground. At 0930, the trap closes. German 88mm guns open fire. The first Sherman explodes. Then the second. Then the third. The American formation breaks apart. Tanks swerve left and right. Commanders scream into radios. No one knows where the fire is coming from. The Panthers emerge from the wadis, flanking, encircling, destroying. Within 90 minutes, Combat Command A ceases to exist. The chaos is audible. American radio traffic becomes a symphony of panic.
"We're taking fire from the east." "Negative, the fire is from the west." "Where is our artillery support?" "I can't raise battalion." "They're behind us." "Everyone is behind us."
German radio operators listen. They record the transmissions. They laugh. There is no coordination. There is no command. There is only fear. Rommel receives reports throughout the morning, each one better than the last. 52 enemy tanks destroyed. American infantry isolated on Jebel Lesouda. Enemy retreating towards Spatla. He nods. He expected this. The Americans have equipment. The Americans have numbers. The Americans have enthusiasm. But they do not have experience. And experience cannot be shipped across the Atlantic. Experience must be paid for in blood. The Americans are paying now. That night, Rommel writes in his diary, "The American troops are inexperienced and poorly led. Their equipment is first-rate, but they use it badly. They attack without reconnaissance. They defend without depth. They retreat without order. If this is the best they have, the war in Africa will be short." He underlines the last sentence. Rommel has fought many enemies. The French collapsed in 6 weeks.
The British held on through skill and stubbornness. The Soviets held on through numbers and brutality. The Americans are something new, rich, confident, completely unprepared. They remind him of the French in 1940, full of theory, empty of practice. He closes his diary. He sleeps well. Part 5. The route continues. February 15th, February 16th, February 17th. The disaster deepens. Spaetler falls. American infantry retreats in disorder. Supply trucks are abandoned. Ammunition dumps are captured. The Germans count the spoils. 100 American tanks destroyed or captured. Thousands of prisoners. Mountains of supplies. The road to Tebessa is open. Tebessa, the main Allied supply base in Tunisia. Fuel, ammunition, food, spare parts. Everything the Allies need to fight. Everything in one place. If Rommel takes Tebessa, the campaign is over. The Allies will be pushed back to Algeria. The invasion of Europe will be delayed by a year, maybe more. Rommel sees the opportunity. He orders the advance to continue. Part 6. The Assessment. At his headquarters, Rommel meets with his staff. What is your assessment of the Americans? General Fritz von Broich speaks first, commander of the 10th Panzer Division. They have courage but no skill. Their tanks charge blindly. Their infantry does not coordinate with armor. Their artillery fires late and inaccurately. Can they improve? Von Broich shrugs. Perhaps, in time, but time is something we will not give them. Rommel nods. The road to Tebessa is open. We advance at dawn. By this time next week, we will control all of Tunisia. The staff officers smile. Victory is within reach. The Americans are broken. The war in Africa is almost won. The German army in February 1943 is confident. They have beaten the Americans twice in 3 days. They have taken prisoners. They have captured equipment. They have proven that American soldiers cannot fight. The reports go back to Berlin. Hitler reads them. He is pleased. The Americans are not a serious military power, he tells his generals. They are merchants, shopkeepers. They do not know how to fight. The German High Command agrees. The Americans are rich. The Americans are soft. The Americans will learn that war is not a business. But someone is about to prove them wrong. A quiet man in a dusty jeep, driving through the Tunisian hills, mapping the terrain, counting the wadis, planning something the Germans have never seen before. His name is Paul Robinett, and in 72 hours he will teach Erwin Rommel something new, something terrifying. Part 1. The Man. February 19th, 1943. Bahirat Fusana Valley, Tunisia. While the American army retreats in chaos, one man drives forward. Brigadier General Paul Robinett, commander of Combat Command B, 1st Armored Division. He is 50 years old, grey hair, quiet voice, unremarkable appearance. He does not look like a hero. He does not act like a hero. He acts like an accountant. His staff calls him the methodical Missourian. Not a compliment, not an insult, just a fact. While other commanders panic, while other commanders scream into radios, while other commanders demand reinforcements, Robinett drives his jeep into the desert, alone, with a map and a notebook. He is looking for something. Part 2. The Valley. The Bahirat Fusana Valley. 20 miles long, 3 miles wide, flanked by ridges on both sides.
The road to Tebessa runs through it. If the Germans want the supply base, they must come through here. There is no other route, no way around, no way to flank. Robinett stops his jeep. He gets out. He walks.
He studies the terrain like a surgeon studies anatomy. The wadis, dry riverbeds carved into the valley floor, deep enough to hide a tank, wide enough to maneuver. The ridges, high ground on both flanks, perfect for observers, perfect for artillery spotters. The choke points, narrow passages where the valley contracts, places where an advancing army must bunch together, places where shells fall like rain. Robinett takes notes, page after page, distances, angles, elevations. He is not planning a battle. He is engineering a kill zone. The mathematics. That night, Robinett meets with his officers. He spreads his map on a table. It is covered in pencil marks, lines, circles, numbers. Gentlemen, the Germans will attack through this valley. They have no other choice. He points to the entrance. They will come from here, confident, fast, expecting another rout. His finger traces the road. They will advance in column, tanks leading, infantry following. Standard German doctrine. He taps the center of the valley. This is where they die. The officers lean forward. We have 48 hours. Here is what we will do. 132 artillery pieces, 105mm howitzers, 155mm guns, every tube Robinett can find. He positions them behind the ridges, hidden from view, protected from counterfire. But positioning is not enough. Robinett orders pre-registration. Every gun crew receives a map. Every map is marked with numbered zones. Every zone is precisely measured. Distance to the inch, elevation to the degree. Zone 1, valley entrance, range 4,000 yards. Zone 2, first choke point, range 3,200 yards. Zone 3, central kill box, range 2,800 yards. And so on. 12 zones, 132 guns, every gun assigned to every zone. When the order comes, no calculations needed. The crews simply dial in the zone number. The shells land exactly where they should. This is not artillery. This is industrial murder. Part 5. The tanks. Robinett positions his Shermans in the wadis, hull down. The tank sits in the riverbed. Only the turret is visible above the edge. The hull is protected by the earth itself. German gunners will see a small target, a turret, hard to hit, easy to miss. American gunners will see German tanks in the open, full silhouette, easy target, hard to miss. The mathematics favor the defender. Robinett understands mathematics. He places tank destroyers on the flanks, M10s, fast, powerful guns. Their job is simple. Lets the Germans advance, lets them commit to the center, then hits them from the sides. Crossfire, the oldest trick in warfare, the most effective. Part 6. The communications. The disaster at Sidi Bouzid was not just tactical, it was communicational. Units could not talk to each other. Commanders could not find their subordinates. Artillery could not find the infantry. Chaos. Robinett fixes this. Every unit receives a radio. Every radio is tested. Every frequency is verified. Forward observers are placed on the ridges. They can see the entire valley. They can call artillery on any target within 30 seconds. Tank commanders are linked to artillery. Artillery is linked to infantry.
Infantry is linked to headquarters. Everyone talks to everyone, in real time, all the time. The Germans will not face individual units. They will face a system, a machine with many parts, all working together. Part 7. The Wait. February 20th, evening. The preparations are complete. Robinett walks the line. He checks every position. He talks to every commander. Do not advance. Do not charge. Do not be heroes. The officers listen. Let them come to you.
Let them enter the valley. Let them think they are winning. He pauses. And then we kill them all.
The officers nod. They understand. This is not about glory. This is not about bravery. This is about mathematics. 132 guns, 40 tanks in hull-down positions, 12 pre-registered kill zones, integrated communications. The Germans are coming. They expect frightened amateurs. They expect chaos. They expect an easy victory. They are about to receive an education. Part 8. The Contrast. February 20th, German headquarters. General von Broich briefs his officers. Tomorrow we advance through the Bachiret-Fusana Valley. Intelligence reports minimal resistance. The Americans are demoralized and disorganized. He points at the map. We will reach Tebessa by nightfall. The supply base will be ours. The campaign will be decided. The officers are confident. They have beaten the Americans twice. They will beat them again. No one mentions the quiet American general in the dusty jeep. No one knows about the 132 guns. No one has seen the wadis filled with hull-down tanks. The Germans are walking into a trap, and they do not know it. In 12 hours, Erwin Rommel will learn something new about Americans.
Something that will change his mind forever.
February 21st, 1943, 1400 hours. The 10th Panzer Division rolls into the Bachiret-Fusana Valley. 57 tanks, Panzer IIIs, Panzer IVs, the elite of the Afrika Corps. They advance in standard formation, tanks forward, infantry in half-tracks behind, artillery following at distance. General von Broich watches from his command vehicle, confident, relaxed. The valley stretches before him, wide, open, empty. He sees dust in the distance, American vehicles, retreating. Just like Sidi Bouzid, just like Spetla, the Americans are running again. Increase speed, he orders. Do not let them escape. The panzers accelerate. 30 kilometers per hour, engines roaring, tracks churning sand. They are eager. They smell victory. They do not smell the trap. The American tank destroyers appear on the flanks, M10s, 4 of them, moving slowly, exposed. The German tank commanders see them, easy targets, isolated, vulnerable. Targets left! Engage! The panzers turn, guns traverse, gunners acquire. The M10s fire once, then they retreat, fast, disappearing behind a ridge. The Germans pursue. This is what they do: hunt, chase, kill. They follow the M10s deeper into the valley, past the first choke point, past the second, into the center, into the kill box. 1422 hours. The Shermans rise from the wadis, not charging, not advancing, just appearing. Turrets emerge from the desert floor, gun barrels level. 28 tanks, hull down, protected, waiting. The lead panzer commander sees them. His blood freezes. "Contact front! Multiple tanks! They were—" He never finishes the sentence. 28 Shermans fire simultaneously. 28 75mm shells cross the valley in 2 seconds. The lead panzer explodes. The second panzer explodes. The third takes a round through the turret ring. The German formation shatters. 14:23 hours. Robinett's voice crackles over the radio, calm, measured. "All batteries, Zone 7, fire for effect." Behind the ridges, 132 guns elevate. The crews do not calculate. They do not adjust. They simply dial in Zone 7, the zone they registered yesterday, the zone in the center of the valley, the zone where 50 German tanks are now trapped. Fire! The sound is not thunder. Thunder is random. This is rhythmic. Boom, 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 boom. 132 guns, firing in sequence, shells arcing through the desert sky. Time on target? The shells do not land scattered. They land together, all at once. The valley floor erupts. Part 5. The Blender. Inside a Panzer IV, Feldwebel Kurt Wolf is screaming. He cannot hear himself. The noise is too loud. Explosions everywhere. Left, right, front, behind. His tank shakes. Sand and metal rain on the hull. The viewport cracks. Where is this fire coming from? He looks through the damaged viewport. He sees nothing. Just smoke. Just fire. Just hell. His driver tries to reverse. The tracks spin. They're stuck. Another shell lands 3 meters away. The concussion lifts the tank. 30 tons of steel lifted by the blast. Wolf's head slams against the turret wall, blood in his eyes, ringing in his ears. The radio is chaos. "We are being destroyed. I cannot see the enemy. Request permission to withdraw. Where is the fire coming from?" No one answers. No one knows. Part 6. The Crossfire. The M10s return. From the flanks, from the ridges, from positions the Germans never scouted. They fire into the sides of the panzers, where the armour is thin, where the shells penetrate. The Germans are caught in a triangle.
Shermans in front, M10s on the sides, artillery from above. There is no escape. Tank after tank explodes. Tank after tank burns. Tank after tank dies. The valley floor is covered in smoke. Black smoke from burning fuel. White smoke from burning rubber. Grey smoke from burning men. 1500 hours. A staff car races toward the front. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel sits in the passenger seat. He has received reports, confusing reports. The 10th Panzer is stopped. The 10th Panzer is taking casualties. The 10th Panzer cannot advance. Impossible. These are the Americans, the amateurs, the children. He must see for himself. The car stops on a ridge overlooking the valley. Rommel steps out. He raises his binoculars. He sees smoke. He sees fire. He sees his elite panzers burning. He sees something else. Coordination. The American tanks do not charge. They hold position. They fire from cover. They let the artillery do the killing. The American artillery does not fire randomly. It fires in patterns, concentrated, timed, precise. The American infantry does not run. They protect the flanks. They report enemy positions. They call in fire missions. Everything works together,
like a machine, like a system, like a professional army. Rommel lowers the binoculars. He is not smiling anymore. Part 8. The Question. How long has this been going on? His aide checks his watch. 45 minutes, Herr Feldmarschall. 45 minutes. 23 Panthers destroyed, 14 more damaged, hundreds of infantry casualties. In 45 minutes. Rommel looks at the valley again. 3 days ago, these same Americans ran from his tanks. 3 days ago, these same Americans could not coordinate a traffic stop. 3 days ago, he called them children. What happened? How do amateurs become professionals in 3 days? The answer terrifies him more than the burning tanks. Because if Americans can learn this fast, if Americans can adapt this quickly, if Americans can transform disaster into victory in 72 hours, then time is on their side. And time is the one thing Germany does not have. Rommel turns to his aide. His voice is quiet. Order the 10th Panzer to withdraw. Withdraw, Herr Feldmarschall. You heard me. The aide sends the order. The Germans retreat. Not because they were defeated tactically, but because Rommel has seen the future. And the future is American. Part 1. The Decision. February 22nd, 1943. Dawn. Rommel stands at his map table. He has not slept. The reports from yesterday are spread before him. 23 tanks destroyed, 14 damaged, over 300 casualties. The 10th Panzer Division, mauled by amateurs. His staff waits in silence. They know the Field Marshal's moods. They know when to speak. They know when to be silent. This is a time for silence. Rommel traces the valley on the map. The Bachiret Fusana, the road to Tebessa, the road to victory. Still open, still possible. If he commits everything, if he pushes harder, if he accepts the losses. Prepare the 21st Panzer Division, he says. We attack at noon. 1200 hours. Fresh German tanks roll into the valley. The 21st Panzer Division, 34 tanks, veteran crews, reinforced infantry. They advance more carefully than yesterday, slower, spread out, expecting resistance. They find it. The Americans have not moved. They have not retreated. They have dug in deeper. Robinett spent the night improving positions, more mines on the approaches, more guns registered on new zones, more ammunition stockpiled. The trap is stronger today than yesterday. 12:45 hours. The 21st Panzer reaches the kill zone. The same thing happens. Shermans appear from wadis. M10s strike from flanks. Artillery falls like judgment. But today is worse for the Germans. The American gunners have experience now, 24 hours of experience. They know the timing. They know the rhythm. They know exactly when to fire. The shells land closer. The patterns are tighter. The kills are faster. German tank commanders report the same thing. They are better than yesterday. Their coordination is improved. We cannot advance. Rommel receives the reports. Each one cuts deeper than the last. 1400 hours. Rommel returns to the ridge. The same ridge as yesterday. The same binoculars. The same view. But everything is different. Yesterday, he saw chaos becoming order. Today, he sees order becoming perfection. The American defense is seamless. Tanks cover infantry. Infantry spots for artillery. Artillery protects tanks. A triangle of death, self-reinforcing, self-correcting, unbreakable. He watches a German attack unfold. Panzers advance. American tanks engage. The Panzers focus on the tanks. American artillery falls on the Panzers. The Panzers try to retreat.
American tank destroyers cut off the retreat. Systematic, methodical, professional. Rommel lowers his binoculars. These are not the same men we fought last week. His aide nods. Perhaps they received reinforcements, Herr Feldmarschall. No. Rommel shakes his head. These are the same men, the same tanks, the same guns. He pauses. They simply learned. That night, Rommel writes again. His hand moves slowly. The words are difficult. February the 22nd, 1943. The American defense today was first class. Their tactical conduct showed adaptation unprecedented in my experience. 3 days ago, they were amateurs. Today, they fought like veterans. Their artillery coordination was exceptional. Their tank deployment was professional. Their communications functioned flawlessly. We have underestimated them. I have underestimated them. He stops writing. He stares at the page. The realization is forming. The terrible, strategic realization. He continues. The British required 3 years to learn combined arms warfare. The Americans have learned it in 3 days. If they continue to improve at this rate, if their factories continue to produce, if their manpower continues to flow, we cannot win this war. He closes the diary. He does not sleep. Part 6. The Mathematics. Rommel sits alone, thinking, calculating. The Americans lost 100 tanks last week, but they have thousands more coming, tens of thousands. The Americans lost 1 battle, but they learn from it immediately, completely. Germany does not have thousands of tanks. Germany does not have unlimited time. Germany does not have the luxury of learning slowly. Every tank Rommel loses is irreplaceable. Every veteran crew is irreplaceable. Every gallon of fuel is irreplaceable. The Americans can afford to lose. The Americans can afford to learn. The Americans can afford to wait. Germany cannot. This is the mathematics of defeat, not the mathematics of one battle, the mathematics of the entire war. Rommel has seen it clearly now, in the smoke of burning panzers, in the coordination of American guns, in the faces of men who were amateurs on Friday and professionals on Sunday. The war is lost. Not today, not this month, maybe not this year, but lost. Part 7. The Withdrawal. February 23rd. Rommel issues the order. All units withdraw to Kasserine Pass. Consolidate positions. Defensive posture. His staff is stunned. Herr Feldmarschall, we can still take Tebessa. One more push? No. Rommel's voice is flat, final. We have lost 47 tanks in 2 days. We have not advanced 1 kilometer. The Americans grow stronger while we grow weaker. He points at the map. Even if we take Tebessa, what then? More Americans will come, better Americans, with more tanks and more guns and more time. He shakes his head. The attack is over. The silence. February 23rd, evening. The Bahiret Fusana Valley is silent. The German tanks are gone, withdrawn, retreating east. The American positions remain intact, unbroken, victorious. Brigadier General Paul Robinett walks the line. He counts the burning German wrecks. 47. He counts his own losses. 9 tanks, 63 men. The mathematics favoured the defender, just as he planned. An aide approaches. "Sir, the Germans have withdrawn. We've held the line." Robinett nods. He does not smile. He does not celebrate. "Send a message to headquarters. Position secure. Tebessa safe. Ready for further orders." He looks at the valley, the wadis, the ridges, the kill zones. 3 days ago, the American army was broken, running, dying, losing. Now, they have stopped the Desert Fox. Not through heroism, not through sacrifice.
Through engineering, through mathematics, through the cold, methodical application of professional warfare. The tide has turned. Part 1. The New Commander. March 6th, 1943. 2nd Corps Headquarters, Tunisia. A staff car raises dust across the desert. It stops outside the command tent. A man steps out. Tall, immaculate uniform, ivory-handled pistols, polished helmet. General George S. Patton, Jr. He has been sent to fix the American army, to turn amateurs into killers, to ensure Kasserine never happens again. His first order? Find the men who held the line. Part 2. The Meeting. Patton summons Robinett. The methodical Missourian arrives in a dusty jeep, rumpled uniform, tired eyes. No ceremony. Patton studies him. "You held at Bahiret Fusana." "Yes, sir." "Tell me how." Robinett spreads his maps, the same maps he used 3 weeks ago. The lines, the circles, the kill zones. He explains. Pre-registered artillery, hull-down tank positions, integrated communications, combined arms defense. Patton listens. He does not interrupt. He takes notes. When Robinett finishes, Patton is silent for a long moment. "This is how we fight from now on. Not just your command. Everyone." He taps the map. "I want every officer in 2nd Corps to study what you did. I want every tank commander to understand hull-down positions. I want every artillery battery to learn pre-registration." He looks at Robinett. "You stopped Rommel with 40 tanks and 132 guns. You proved Americans can fight. Now we teach the rest." Part 3. The Transformation. March, April, May. 12 weeks. Patton transforms 2nd Corps. Morning inspections, uniforms cleaned, weapons maintained, discipline enforced. Afternoon training, combined arms exercises, artillery coordination drills, communication procedures. Evening reviews, after-action reports, lessons learned, mistakes corrected. The Robinett standard becomes the Patton standard. The Patton standard becomes the Army standard. Officers who fail are relieved. Officers who learn are promoted. Officers who adapt are given commands. The army that ran at Sidi Bouzid transforms. Part 4. The Victory. May 13th, 1943. Tunisia. The Axis forces surrender. 275,000 prisoners, German, Italian, the entire Afrika Corps. Gone. In 12 weeks, The Americans have gone from humiliation to triumph, from amateurs to professionals, from running to conquering.
The same men who lost 100 tanks at Kasserine now accept the surrender of an entire army group. The same commanders who panicked on the radio now coordinate multi-division operations. The same soldiers who fled from Panthers now march German prisoners to the rear. Transformation, complete, irreversible. Rommel's warning. Rommel is not there for the surrender. He was recalled to Germany in March, sick, exhausted, defeated in spirit if not in name. He never fights Americans again, but he warns anyone who will listen. The Americans are not what we thought. They learn faster than any enemy I have faced. Their industry is limitless. Their manpower is endless. Their ability to adapt is terrifying, he tells Hitler. Hitler does not listen. The Americans are soft. They cannot fight. They will collapse when we strike hard enough. Rommel shakes his head. You did not see what I saw. In 3 days, they went from children to professionals. Give them a year, and they will be unstoppable. Hitler dismisses him. 1 year later, the Americans land at Normandy. 2 years later, they stand in the ruins of Berlin. Rommel was right. No one listened. Kasserine Pass. The official statistics. American losses, 6,500 casualties, 183 tanks, 200 artillery pieces. German losses, 2,000 casualties, 47 tanks, 29 guns. By the numbers, a German victory, a significant German victory. But numbers do not tell the whole story. The Germans won the battle. The Americans won the lesson. And lessons compound. The 6,500 casualties at Kasserine taught the American army how to fight. That knowledge saved 60,000 lives in Sicily, 100,000 lives in Italy, 500,000 lives in France. The cost was paid once. The dividend was paid forever. Part 7. The Men. Paul Robinett finished the war as a major general. He never became famous. He never wrote memoirs. He never appeared in movies. He retired quietly. He died quietly. He was buried quietly. A methodical man to the end. George Patton became a legend. He conquered Sicily. He raced across France. He broke the bulge. He died in a car accident in December 1945, just months after victory. Erwin Rommel never surrendered. Implicated in the plot to kill Hitler, he was forced to take poison. July 1944. The Desert Fox died believing he had seen the future at Bahiret Fusana, a future where American adaptation would crush German excellence. He was right. Part 8. The Valley Today. 2025. The Bahiret Fusana Valley, Tunisia. Peaceful farmland, olive groves, wheat fields. The wadis are still there, dry riverbeds carved into the earth, where Shermans once hid, where Panthers once burned. A few monuments mark the battlefield, small plaques, faded flags, names of the dead. Tourists rarely come here. They prefer the beaches of Normandy, the forests of the Bulge, the cities of Germany. But here, in this forgotten valley, something happened. Something that saved an army, something that transformed a nation, something that changed a war. 72 hours, from Friday to Sunday, from disaster to triumph, from amateurs to professionals.
one quiet general with a map. 132 guns, 40 tanks in wadis. And the realization that Americans could learn faster than anyone expected, faster than anyone believed, faster than Germany could survive. Rommel wrote in his diary on February 22, 1943, "The Americans had learned critical lessons in 1 week of combat that took the British 3 years to absorb. Their adaptability is their greatest weapon. If this continues, the war cannot be won." He was right. The Americans were amateurs on Friday. By Sunday, they were professionals.
And Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, was terrified. Not of the tanks, not of the guns, not of the men. Of the learning. Because learning compounds, learning multiplies, learning wins wars. 72 hours, that is all it took. 72 hours to save an army, 72 hours to turn a defeat into a lesson, 72 hours to change Rommel's mind, and change history. If this story changed how you see World War II, hit that subscribe button. Because history is not just about victories and defeats. It is about learning, about adaptation, about 72 hours that saved an army. The Americans were beaten at Kasserine, but they were not broken. They learned, they adapted, they won. And that is the most American story of all. Next time, on Iron Witness, the Soviet pilot who was shot down 15 times and kept coming back for more.